In the previous program, we talked about Juba's inconsistency with his own belief in himself. He wanted to say that his name was not Ju, but he couldn't hide the fact that he was Ju. We can try to make a bold idea. Juba's mistaken vote for Ju Tai. If it happened before he was appointed to be the Marshal of Tian Tong. Think about it, is it more reasonable to do what you do? Juba is not Ju's choice of using the soul to fight against Ju. But for some special reason, he reincarnated himself and took the wrong path when he was looking for his body. He became Ju Tai. Under everything, he killed Muju, cannibalism. But in fact, Juba is too invested. It is not accurate to say that his reincarnation is called reincarnation. The so-called multiple designs are a strong battle against the body. Lao Zhu made a mistake and it was not bad. Not only did the body become Ju, but the key is that the memory is lost. What's more serious is that the personality has changed. It is precisely because Juba has become Ju his original plan that has deviated, so Tianming can't find Lao Zhu no matter how he looks. When I finally found out that Juba borrowed it, I found that he had become what he is now and missed the best practice of treatment. Later, Juba borrowed a 9-turn big ring list. What does big ring mean? There is another one in the revision of the memorial, which is the 9-turn Tai ring single in the hands of the Donghua Imperial Army. In the 26th chapter of the original master, the Imperial Army said this. I have a 9-turn too many rings, but it can be used to indicate events but cannot be a tree. Through this introduction, we can understand that this ring is used to treat diseases. The big ring must be used to treat serious diseases. This old Ju's illness was not very serious. So the 9-turn big ring is to make it possible to recover its previous self. So the question is, who is the person who borrowed this 9-turn grand ring order for Juba? Let's talk about the Donghua Imperial Army first. The most expensive one is the 9-turn Tai ring order. And there is only one example. And we can see the effect of Lao Zhu taking this 9-turn big ring single. This 9-turn large ring single should be more advanced than the 9-turn large ring single of the Donghua Imperial Army. These 9 paper nail cards are the weapons borrowed by Juba. But they were built by the old army of the Supreme Court, but they were borrowed and used by Juba. The attitudes of all gods and immortals respect Lao Zhu Qingxian. So here we can boldly speculate that the god Juba met is the Tai's Hang Lao Juan. It was the old army of the Supreme Court who took Juba to Tianzhong. Let's take a look at Juba's attitude towards other gods. Then Juba opened his ban on Wanchou Mountain and sold Samsung on the service. He said, I'm not defending the goods, you know, you're a real slave. When Che Chiguo was in charge, he dared to take Samsung Su Xiang into Mao Wang. Lao Zhu dares to do anything, which means Lao Zhu doesn't care at all. Why don't you care? Because no one dares to touch him. The origin of this old Jew is definitely not ordinary. His original status was definitely very prominent before he slammed Ju Tai. In short, both the Supreme Old Army and the expected look at Juba with a high look. Of course it is definitely not because of Lao Zhu now. But the true faith of Ju Tai who defeated the head. So why should I seal the Ba Lian as Tianpan Yuanshu? The 8th chapter of Journey to the West said when describing Juba's appearance. The military treasure Peng Lian adjusts his mouth to enter the spectrum to produce gold and gold. That day, Pan Pan had to be Lao Zhu's face. I expected that I would immediately want to get my face in the first place when I saw Juba. Since old Ju can't call him Tianzhu Yuan Shui, then call him Tianpan Yuan Shui. It means that the red face in the sky can also be called a walking red face. Lao Zhu successfully took the position of Tianpan Yuan's handsome man. But later on, why did Juba say that he was made up by someone else? Juba took advantage of this and the country lost its own losses. Just because Queen Mother can adjust her plate and get angry, she is very slow. At that time, the 9 masters of the marriage of the 9 masters led the West to scatter the slopes. He said that the bear broke into Guangzhou Airlines' romantic fresh vegetables to meet. Build another plant and the human soul will be hard to destroy. All the best and the other are removed from the Chang Russians to accompany them. This long Russian is also called romantic fresh. Why is it called Fenglio fresh? You see, Chang Russian's performance is very strange. What should you do if someone tries to do it? Help. Or run away with him. But this long Russian is hiding from Tibet again and again. Yago didn't call him, either. This is obviously the rice that Nyo Nyo pinched. This old Jew is so unforgettable that his heart is hard to be destroyed. What does this old ordinary heart mean? Of course, that's Lao Zhu's lustful heart. What day did the old days mean? That's before Sister Juba went to heaven. It's still the one who really defeated the pig's fetus. Let's talk about who is this long Russian who is so detailed in Juba. Speaking of this, some friends have questions about who Chang'e is. Isn't Chang'e Russia the woman from Shanghai and Guangzhou Airlines? Let's see the description of the 95th chapter of the Western European Tech Yuanju Emperor. The Tying Lord led all the DOS sons and the Jade Rabbit. Gold to God International. Testimony viewing place. Sister Juba touched her heart and couldn't help but jump in the air. Stop Nanny's son. Alas, uncover. I and you are the old days. You and I are angry. Through this description, we can clarify several issues. In the Western European world, Russia is also called Dorussia. But it's not just one person but a group of people. Are you the first son of all Bajie? The second one is the first son of the Russian who was detailed in detail. That Chang'e Russian is actually named Nicholas's son. Sister Juba suddenly stopped Ni's eldest son. Ni Chang'e didn't react at all. Not to mention resisting. Until here. This story presents us with a very suspicious scene. Juba sister transfer Shini's son. Whether in God or in heaven. This nun never shouted. Let's go back to the scene where Sister Juba transferred Shini's son. Facing the adjustment of Sister Juba, this nun's son repeatedly hide in Tibet Nu not far away. Who is Nu and not far away? Since this is Juba's self-destruction. Of course, Sister Juba himself is unhappy. This is not the end. It was obvious that it was a hooligan who came to adjust the beauty. This victim was not very concerned about it. The hooligan Juba shouted instead. This is like the sky, the four thunders show some shocks to the sky gate. Just check the officials who reported to Yuan that day, no great fate was passed. Guanggan siege is not ventilated. It's rare to get out of nothing. Not the one whom Nichang was called by his son. It was brought to me by Sister Juba himself. The Yuan earth also acted very quickly. Immediately surrounded Guanggan Gong. Everything is like being prepared. In Western Europe, G. Deba returned to the intimacy with Sister Juba, and added another chapter. A mouthful of male guide and cow ate the Queen Mother's zero dish. Look at this big guide to the sky. This Sister Juba has also led the God of Heaven. And this old Jew's great guide. Only then can it be said that it was the great guided God who was at that time. First of all, Lao Zhu broke through Guanggan Gong's layers of encirclement. He also told the bull to lead the men. The cattle detective appeared many times in Western Europe. What is it? Chapter 55 describes. The great guide of the sky is the Yue Yuhuang earthly vegetable Italy Ghost King 28 stays. Yufudong Nyo Gong on display. Chapter 92. Udiji Kai Su Tian is a fellow traveler who went to Dong Nyo Gong to order Simu fresh down the street to collect invitations. Chapter 7 says it's free time. A 7 new one needs multiple holes. This cave is a symbol of Tian Ding's military. The earth is the symbol of Tian Ding's full strength. As a result, Lao Zhu gave the public guidance in one mouthful. I also ate the Queen Mother's spiritual vegetable. Where is the Queen Mother living? Where is the Queen Mother? Which spiritual vegetable? Even if you leave BA Street, there is something to brag. But old Judy Didi went and beat Guanggan Gong. Is it a storm that is not airtight? The military cave is filled with. It was not finished until the day of the long time. Lao Zhu is the top 10 big fuss to return to the heavens. I don't know where the gold volume of Dahan will be high in the future. But some friends have to have questions after this. Since Juba Street is so powerful, why was it on the way later? The soul of Juba Street is very ordinary. Does he really have that big soul? Next episode will tell you the story behind the rare memories.